Okay, so with this example, I'm going to start off with a line. And I'm going to make this line going horizontal. And it's going to go over a distance of 260. I'm going to draw a line from this end point going up a distance of 114. Back this direction, 32. I'm going to go down a distance of 44. I'm going to drag this direction, and I'm just going to touch this end point and track from it. I'll come up, and you can see that distance is 228. And then I'll click on this end point. So that's one of my shapes created. The next shape I'm going to draw, so I'm going to start off with a line at 260. I'm going to go up a distance of 60. And I'm going to stop at that point. Okay, I'm just going to use another line command on this side and go up a distance of 60 as well. I'm going to use the offset command. Distance I'm going to use is going to be 50. I'm going to offset this line going up. Then I'll go back to offset. Type in 35 as my distance. Then I'm going to offset these two lines to the inside at 35. I'm just going to connect these endpoints by creating two lines. And then I will trim off the rest. Okay, this is two of the shapes that I'm going to need to create my 3D view. The last one, I'm going to start off with a circle that has a radius. Radius of this circle will be 90. I'm going to create a construction line. That's horizontal, going through the center. I'm going to offset this line a distance of 114. One to the top and the same line to the bottom. Go back to offset. 36 will be the distance that I'm going to offset this top line down. Then I'll choose offset again. And 30 will be the distance that I'm going to set this offset going up. Let's go ahead and create a vertical line. So go back to construction line, vertical, right through the center. Let's go ahead and offset a distance of 20. I'm just going to do that to each side of this line. Then I will come back and offset a distance of 22.5. from these outside lines. Now I'll go ahead and trim off the top here, so I'm just going to use trim. And I'm going to trim these two outside lines here, and these two lines here going across the top. I'll trim off these lines here on the outside. And now I'll start trimming away my arc. And at these corners, I'll trim away these portions on the inside. And I'm just going to finish the trim on this top view. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and erase these outside lines. I'm going to use this offset command again. 17.5. Select my vertical line. I'm just going to click one to each side. I'm going to go back to offset. Distance of 25. And I'm going to offset these lines going to the outside this direction. Let's go back to the trim command. Once again, I'm going to start with the outside lines first. Then my two lines here along the top. Let's trim away the arc. I'm going to get rid of this line in between this one and this one. And along here at the top, I'll click the outside lines and the ones on the inside. Once you're done with escaping, you're going to have some extra long lines that you can go ahead and get rid of. Let's go ahead and join these lines together. So go ahead and select them and choose Join. I'll choose the Revolve command. I'm going to revolve this shape, this endpoint to this endpoint. Use revolve again, and I'm just going to revolve this endpoint to this endpoint. Then I'll finally use the extrude command. Select this object, and the height will be 50. Okay, I'm going to look at this in an isometric, and I'm going to change it to shades of gray. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up this shape, and this one kind of looks similar on both sides, so make sure that you are standing up it in the right orientation. This top side have thinner little pegs at the top. So I'm going to switch over to the rotate gizmo, select my shape, and I'll choose the red axis. And you can see that it is standing up the correct way. So I'm going to select here. Then I'll select the blue axis and spin it like so. Let's go to Move. Select this shape in the front. And I'm going to place it from this center I'm going to shift and right click and force it to only pick a center. There. I will union these two together, so union. And I'm only selecting these two shapes. Then I will move this shape from this center to that center. It does look like I'm off just by a little bit. So I'm just going to undo. Then I'm going to move that again. So I'm going to move this object and I'm going to choose this center. I'll force it to go to the center by doing a shift and right click. And that would force it to snap to that center. Subtract. Select the outside shape. Then I want to subtract the inside one. Now it's got to be tricky because you got to get right to that correct spot of where only the cylinder on the inside is. And if you're having trouble with it, there's another easier way. You can just click on where it says left. And then I'm just going to use this blue window and highlight it, followed by enter. Next, I'm just going to rotate this around to this. It's going to be my front view. Select it. Choose the blue axis. Then I'm going to aim it around this direction. Okay, from this point, you should go ahead and switch over to the Layout tab, insert in your title block, and set up your dimensions and fill out your title block.